The Tesla Model Y Performance is a very impressive vehicle. From the swift 0 to 60 time of just 3.5 seconds to the insane tech it has, it is a truly mind-blowing vehicle. I've owned this Model Y Performance for roughly 3 to 4 months now and have genuinely put it to the test and quite frankly just gotten to fully get to know it. Almost every single car out there has certain positive and negative attributes. Electric cars are no different in that regard. So in this video, I'll be going over the top 7 things I wish I knew before purchasing my Model Y Performance. Real quick, before we dive in, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I post the latest and best Tesla related content and don't want to miss out on a video. Let's start with the one that everyone seems to be pressed and heated about lately about the Model Y Performance, and that's the ride quality and comfort. If you've spent any amount of time in online forums that are talking about the Model Y Performance, you have certainly seen a handful of people complain about the ride quality and comfort of the Model Y Performance. It has gotten to the point that some people who have not even yet taken delivery of their Model Y Performance already either order smaller wheels and tires to accommodate for the ride quality, or are considering coilovers or installing an air suspension. So while I was waiting for my Model Y Performance to be delivered, you can imagine what I was expecting going in because I had not test driven the vehicle before ordering it. I really thought that the ride quality was going to be an issue for me, but that is far from the reality. As first-hand experience of driving the Model Y Performance and the Model Y Long Range as daily drivers, I can assure you that the ride quality is nowhere near as bad or substandard as people make it out to be. Undeniably, the Model Y Performance in my experience has been an excellent daily driver in terms of comfort and ride quality. I am comfortable driving it on a daily basis and have even taken a handful of small road trips in it so far without any comfort issues. It's very smooth, and to top it off, the seats are a dream. They are very plush and comfy, as if you're sitting on a cloud. In a head-to-head comparison video, I compared my Performance Model Y against my Long Range Model Y, and one of the things I discussed was the ride quality between the two. I'll link that video below in the description for you to check out, but briefly, the difference between the ride quality between the two is marginal, even when accounting for the difference in the wheel and tire size, which is arguably the main thing that affects ride quality. But definitely take the Model Y Long Range and Model Y Performance out on a test drive for yourself to see and experience the ride quality and comfort if you're considering purchasing a Model Y. The second thing to know is your charging situation and to have it ready before you take delivery of your Tesla. It may not be as straightforward as you think it is or you see online, but be sure to plan ahead. To simply put it, there are 3 ways you can charge your Tesla. The first is with a mobile connector, and you simply plug this into your standard 110 volt wall outlet. This will get you about 3 miles per hour charged. This is not the most convenient form of charging a Tesla, but it is certainly doable if your daily commute is very little. The second way to charge your Tesla has 2 routes. You can either have an electrician run wiring and install a 240 volt NEMA 1450 outlet, and this provides you with about 30 miles of range per hour charged. The next route is to purchase a Tesla wall connector and have an electrician wire it to your breaker box. The Tesla wall connector offers the fastest charging speeds, adding 44 miles of range per hour charge. A thing to note is that electricians have recently caught on to people installing chargers in their homes for EVs, and they will charge you insane rates to get a charger installed. Before the EV craze, you can get the wiring quoted for around $300 to $600 for a standard home where the breaker box is around 30 to 50 feet away from where you want to place the charger. Now, that same distance will cost you significantly more simply because electricians know it's for an EV. For me, the highest an electrical company quoted me was $2,200 to get my Tesla wall connector installed. I did some shopping around and got multiple estimates and quotes and ended up going with a seasoned electrician that charged me $600 to get it installed last year. This was on top of the Tesla wall connector's price of $500 I had to purchase, but lucky for you, the Tesla wall connector has dropped to $400. The Tesla wall connector is a more expensive route, whereas the NEMA 1450 outlet is just the cost of the electrician, plus around $10 to $20 for the NEMA 1450 outlet itself, and $45 for the adapter from Tesla. It is certainly possible to not be price gouged by electricians, but you'll have to do some shopping around. A thing that also contributes to the added installation costs is the supply chain constraints and the increased price of copper. Now, the third option for charging, aside from using a mobile connector or installing a NEMA 1450 outlet or the Tesla wall connector, is Tesla supercharging. With 35,000 plus superchargers, Tesla owns and operates the largest global fast charging network in the world. Located on major routes and near convenient amenities, the superchargers keep you charged while you're away from your home. And that's kind of what they're meant for road trips and not for everyday charging. To use a supercharger, you just simply plug in. With a Tesla app, you can view the supercharger stall availability, monitor your charging status, or get notified when you're ready to go. Now the good thing is that superchargers can add up to 200 miles of range in just 15 minutes. Since charging above 80% is rarely necessary, the stops are typically short and very convenient. The third thing I wish I knew before purchasing a Tesla is the actual range you'll get. While EVs are notorious for not achieving their EPA ranges, the Model Y still has plenty of range for most daily driving and even road trips. The Model Y Performance has an EPA rated range of 303 miles, and the Model Y Long Range has an EPA rated range of 330 miles. Other EVs that are comparable to the Model Y either get less range or are significantly less efficient. Efficiency is something that is often overlooked when people are purchasing an EV. Sure, you can have an EV that has more range than another EV, but how is the efficiency of the said EV? I'll go in depth on EV efficiencies in another video, but I just wanted to point that out for you to be aware when shopping for EVs. When you're looking to purchase a Tesla, they show you an EPA estimated range on a full battery at 100%. Tesla recommends charging up to 90% for daily usage. This is done to preserve the battery for the long term, since fully charging an electric vehicle to 100% can put stress on the battery. But it's mostly for regen braking, where you can get the most efficiency out of it when you're below that percent. I take this a step further and just charge to 80% on a daily basis. You may be thinking that 80% may not be enough for you, but if you take a step back and think about it, you charge your Tesla whenever you get home from your commute every day and set the limit at 80%. You don't have to charge it up weekly like filling up a gas car. Every morning you wake up to what is essentially a quote-unquote full tank, since it's topped off every single day. With the EPA estimated range for my Performance Model Y being 303 miles at 100%, this would mean I would get around 242 miles at 80%. This is more than enough for my daily driving and daily commute combined. Tesla also recommends leaving your Tesla plugged in whenever possible. This is again done to preserve the battery for the long term. A quick little side note about the 80 and 90% charge limit for battery health. You don't have to worry about that for the standard range Model 3 and standard range Model Y produced in China, since they have the LFP batteries and it's safe to charge those to 100%. Also, a thing that I've noticed is driving highway speeds of 70 or 80 miles per hour uses more energy. Pair this up with a cold wintertime driving and you're looking to lose around 10 to 20% of range on a given day. So charging to 80% daily would in reality be 60 to 70% if you're purely using highway driving in the cold wintertime for your commute. And this would bring the estimated range to between 180 to around 212 miles for the Performance Model Y. But again, this is not a big problem for a lot of Tesla owners since they plug in their Tesla every day when they get home from their commute. You also have the vast supercharging network that I mentioned earlier for when you're out on the go. Putting off my order is the next thing I wish I knew about, and I made a video about how this is my biggest regret. Just like anyone else, I was waiting for the quote-unquote perfect time to order. From one perspective, it was getting some things in order, and from another, it was seeing if the estimated delivery time would decrease. If anything, the time kept on getting longer and longer, so I eventually pulled the trigger and placed my order. Of course, the price had gone up $1,000 to $2,000 in the meantime, but the price has also gone up significantly more now after I've placed my order. Lots of people have asked me if I see Tesla vehicle prices decreasing, and quite frankly, in my opinion, I do not see that for the near future. We may not see rapid price increases like how they have occurred over the past year, but I think the prices will kind of stay where they're at for now until some really important things get ironed out. The first thing is the most obvious of supply chain issues and chip shortages. The second is Giga Texas and Giga Berlin operating at full capacity. With these two new Gigafactories recently starting to produce vehicles, it'll take some time to get them up to speed. But once they are, I believe that they can chip away at the long order queue and alleviate the pent-up demand Tesla has had over the past year. But also from another perspective, Tesla may not decrease prices because they continue to have tons of orders day after day, breaking delivery records each quarter. But this is only my opinion and pure speculation, and it all ultimately is up to you to order or not to order a Tesla. I'm just here to lay out the facts for you and help you decide. I've also been saying since last year, when the prices were around $12,000 to $15,000 cheaper than they are today, for people to place their order for a Tesla to simply lock in a lower price. The next thing is model years, or lack thereof. Tesla doesn't do model years for their vehicles, so if you're holding off from purchasing expecting the next greatest thing to be added, you'll be waiting for a long time. That's because every time Tesla makes an improvement or a new feature, they just simply roll it out when it's ready. So every time that new feature gets rolled out, you'll be telling yourself, maybe I should wait for the next one, and the next one. This act of trying to wait for the next feature again and again is what will have you waiting for a long time. The plus side is that if you already have your Tesla, that the majority of these new features come out as software updates. One reason why Tesla does not announce when the next new feature comes out is because of the social phenomenon called the Osborne effect. The Osborne effect is a reduction in sales of current products after an announcement of a future product. The Osborne effect is often driven by the fear of missing out. This effect often hinges on timing but also situational judgment. It's a result of customers desiring a newly announced product more than the current ones out. It'll only hurt Tesla and other tech companies, for example, if they announce the next tech release and whatever new features it'll have, because people will just put off buying now in anticipation of the upcoming release. If I'm being completely honest, I don't think the vast majority of people will know about the slightest changes unless if you're constantly following Tesla news or on Tesla forums like Tesla Motors Club or my favorite Tesla subreddits. The next thing isn't something that specifically pertains to me, but to a lot of other Tesla owners, and that's purchasing full self-driving. It can be difficult to justify $15,000 on software that is not fully there yet and doesn't do what the title says. Most owners completely agree with the fact that the technology is impressive, but some don't agree with spending $15,000 on it. With all Teslas coming standard with autopilot, that's more than enough for a lot of people out there. However, full self-driving goes a step above that with the aim to achieve level 5 autonomy. This will enable Tesla cars to include city streets with traffic, intersections, and pedestrians in its takeover from the driver. The full self-driving mode will offer more features than autopilot, which is more convenient for Tesla drivers who want an even more relaxing and futuristic experience. Currently, full self-driving is in beta testing, and not everyone that purchases full self-driving will be in beta. The FSD beta program enables Tesla vehicles to drive autonomously to a destination entered in the car's navigation system, but the driver still needs to remain vigilant and ready to take control at all times. For me, I could not justify paying that much for the FSD upgrade, for I am happy with the features that come standard with autopilot, and I actually enjoy driving the car on a regular basis. When you buy a Tesla, the spending does not stop there. Well, technically it can, but these additional expenses are hard to pass up on and are completely optional. The first being paint protection film and ceramic coating. With Teslas not having a traditional front grille, there's simply more surface area for rock chips to occur and to be seen on. Paint protection film can help mitigate a lot of rock chips and smaller road debris. After getting several insanely priced quotes from paint protection film shops around me, I decided to give it a try and do it myself. I ordered the kit from Amazon and I'll link it down below for you to check out. And I applied the paint protection film myself. But be sure to go into it with an open mind and lots of patience. The next thing that I did was apply ceramic coating. I made a video where I went in depth on why a ceramic coating is beneficial and showed step by step how to apply it yourself. I'll link that video below in the description for you to check out. But essentially, a ceramic coating is a sacrificial layer that you would apply on top of your clear coat or on top of your paint protection film, and helps against things like UV rays, bird droppings, tree sap, and the overall elements. Not to mention the self-cleaning properties it has in terms of it being hydrophobic and in making your maintenance washes much simpler and easier to do. Now, other expenses include various accessories from floor mats, to screen protectors, to center console trays, to mud flaps, and to anything you can possibly think of. I made a video where I show the top 10 must-have accessories, and I'll link it below in the description for you to check out. I will also link all of my favorite Tesla accessories that I have vetted to be high quality, and you can check those out in the description below for your convenience. So there you have it, the top 7 things I wish I knew before purchasing my Model Y Performance. Please share your experience with owning an EV or anything surprising that may have come up during your ownership experience in the comments below. And as always, a lot of time and effort goes into creating these videos, so I really appreciate a like and a subscribe to my channel. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.